Hello Pisces, this is Victoria from Mindful Bamboo and I'm here with your December tarot forecast. As always, we'll be looking at your love situation, your career and workspace, and the advice from the universe on how to best utilize the energies of the month. I will use a different deck at the end to post some messages from your person of interest to yourself. And as always, I'm getting started with an oracle deck. This is the Spirit Junkie Oracle by Gabby Bernstein. And we'll get some great motivational statement, some affirmation, some mantra on what is important to remember in the month of December as we move on to planning our next year and setting ourselves up for success. Hope you guys are doing great. We also, just as I'm shuffling, I just need to mention that we have a number of big astrological events happening in this month. But the one that is happening just as I'm recording this is Neptune going direct in Pisces, right? And because it's in Pisces, it's definitely going to impact you. You'll probably feel it more than other signs, not in a bad way, because since you are a water sign, it's a more natural environment for you. There's a very watery energy in the air with this Neptune going direct in Pisces. And Neptune is going to stay direct for 6 months. But the shift is important, right? That's why we're talking about it now, right? It's going to be bringing more of that dreamy energy, getting more in touch with feelings and emotions. And on the one hand, it will create opportunities for healing and moving on to something bigger and better. On the other hand, it can create certain illusions or like certain foggy, blurry energy because we won't be paying attention to details as much. It's going to be a bit more romanticized, right? A bit more like, oh yeah, this is great and that's fun, right? On those lines. It's also a great way to connect to your artistic self and to express yourself in whatever art form is favored by you. Alright. I accept the gifts I've been given as a high service to the world. Yeah, so, and to finish my thought, and the artistic expression will help you open up to more of your talents and gifts and understand what do you want, what's going to make you happy, because all of those things are very much connected with each other, right? So it's important to give time to let those thoughts, those emotions flow so that you can get connected and you can find out more about yourself, essentially. And another part of the message here, of course, is that whatever it is that you've been gifted with, this is definitely something that you can help the world with, right? And partly it can be by finding a career in that area where you can utilize your gifts, but it's also about understanding the behind the scenes part, so you can actually teach it to other people on a larger scale, right? Not just use your own knowledge for achieving certain goal, because it's still going to have limited effect, but to be able to extrapolate that, you need to teach other people so they can use that knowledge, and that's how it multiplies. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, let's see what we have for Pisces with tarot. Ooh, that was a lot. But I'm going to start with these 3. So for your love situation, we have 7 of Wands, the Chariot, and 5 of Wands. Wow, a lot of karmic vibes and disruptions. For the career space, we have Devil. It was kind of on the side, but I'm going to take it upright for now. We have Page of Wands in reverse and 10 of Cups. Interesting. And I was gonna say this is the second reading where I see 10 of Cups in the career space, but again, you're a water sign. The previous reading was for a water sign, so I guess it's not that strange. In the guidance, we have 8 of Cups, 4 of Pentacles, and 4 of Swords. By the way, let me know in the comments if you like my new deck. This is the gold foil deck. I love it personally because it feels great, it looks great, it's lightweight, but it's not, you know what I mean? The 3 of Wands at the bottom of the deck, so intention setting. I was talking about Neptune and this energy this month, so this is a continuation of it, right? You need to dream it first and be bold with your dreams. It's very important, especially for Pisces, right? It's kind of like where you are anyway, right? But this is like, this is kind of your wheelhouse, right? Like this is something you're good at. But even then, sometimes, and I see all these karmic energies here and disruptions from other people, we can lose the track of that flow, right? Like we can get distracted with other things, and it's important to kind of maybe even cut out some time in your schedule for just daydreaming, for more maybe for praying and meditation, right? And somehow bringing in those ideas and dreams into your consciousness so that you can manifest them then. Okay, so yeah, to continue the topic of disruption, so there's definitely, oh, and speaking of the major arcanas, right? So you could be dealing with a Cancer or Capricorn based on the cards here. But most importantly, there is a desire to move forward. But it's almost like I'm being drawn to this sphinxes here, right? That cannot really move, right? Like it's just the task is too hard with where you are right now, or the way you're looking at it, right? Then there is, and mostly it's because there are these other situations that are pulling on your energy, or your person's energy, or both of you. Take it how it resonates. And you can't really see things clearly in your relationship to move it forward. So the good part is both of you want progress and want to move this forward, this commitment, building a life together, etc., etc. Right? This is mutual, 100%. The bad part is that each of you is preoccupied with standing up for yourself, using your voice, answering to other people who are challenging you in some shape or form, maybe even about the relationship, right? That's the distractive factor that's bringing in extra noise and discomfort. And you need to fight it off first before you can feel comfortable and work on this part. That's what's going on right now. Up to you to see how you can change things around. And at the very least, if you cannot avoid having this disruption, at least take steps so that this doesn't really control your life, right? And what you spend your time on, right? You can create the protective shield for yourself. You can, well, I don't know if you can ignore those people and things that are disruptive, right? But you know what I mean? Like, it's important to sort of not to get too hung up on those kind of energies, because they're going to be draining you without really providing progress. And that's what both of you are striving for. For your career space, so I'm getting that there is a desire to move on from this manipulation energy, where you're like trying to live day by day and to fulfill certain specific tasks just to make it work, just so that, you know, people praise you and give you bonuses and things like that. Like, there's nothing, well, it's not particularly wrong, right? But it's just like there's a certain limit to what you can achieve there. There's a certain limit to how happy you can be within that environment, where you have to people please, where you have to understand what people want from you, how they want you to show up, and to show up in that capacity, right? And you understand that the true happiness at work, in your career space, is when you have that emotional fulfillment, when you can be truly yourself, when you can be an artist in whatever that environment is, right? That's the highest expression. That's when you can breathe in and breathe out that freedom vibe. I'm just actually feeling it as I'm talking about it. It's beautiful. Interesting advice. 8 of Cups, 4 of Pentacles, 4 of Swords. So none of this is actually about big actions, maybe apart from this one about leaving certain things behind. But even with that, I'm sensing that it's more about mindset than actually making a lot of changes in your life. But it's very important to look after yourself, Pisces, because you may have good intentions, but it's easy for you to get carried away with the bigger goals, the bigger picture, all this kind of stuff, the big boy stuff. But it's still important to look after yourself, to take care of your body, of your mind, to keep bringing in joy by doing little things for yourself, right? It's also important not to lose track of what you've already established. And what I'm hearing, it's important to mention to you that whatever you've done or you've built so far, it's not bad. It's not like you need to forget about it and start from scratch. That what you've built is important. It's an important foundation for the next phase of your development, maybe your other career, even for some people, maybe different phase of your relationship. So don't give up on that knowledge. It's there, you got it, move on to something bigger and better, so that you also don't get stuck into this kind of like, there is a saying, it's better to have one bird in your hand than two birds in the bush, right? But in this case, it doesn't work for you, Pisces. Don't cut yourself short because of those kind of wisdoms, That's where your inner discernment comes in. That's where you're supposed to check yourself. Like, okay, how do I feel about it? Does it feel right? Then, it's not going to matter as much of how logical it is or what other people are going to think about it. And more than anything, in this month, it's also important to remember or to ask yourself whether your decisions are helping you develop your gifts and talents, right? Because that's ultimately going to become one of your, not one of your, but it's going to become the ultimate mission, right? That's where you will find personal and professional fulfillment, really. So it's important to give space for those voices, for those opportunities, for those requests that you're seeing around you. Okay, messages from your person to yourself. Messages for Pisces from their person. Cancer energy here, more water. What else? Oh, there is a card actually, I just didn't. Okay. So two major arcanas here, pretty important ones. We have the High Priestess and the Emperor. So your person sees you as this beautiful complementary couple in a way that there is a harmony, and it's up to you to decide who's who, but there's a very clear masculine and feminine energy here. And the way they see it is the feminine energy, whoever that is for you, is either them or you watching. The feminine energy has the wisdom, the nurture, the intuition, like all of those like classic feminine skills, but also creating space for becoming a better version of ourselves, right? And this person is doing it for the both people in this relationship. And on the other hand, the masculine energy is more about creating certain structure in the physical. So it's not as much of a, like the actual counterpart for the High Priestess would be the Hierophant in this case. But it's the Emperor in this case, because your person sees that the masculine energy is actually the one that's creating the life in 3D, right? It's going out there, it's conquering lands, and negotiating with people, those kind of earthly tasks, but those that are really important to kind of establish the setting for this beautiful flow, for this river that's going to kind of flow through and make it beautiful and cozy and comfortable and loving, right? Like this is this great blend between you two of masculine and feminine, and they find it fascinating. Like this is a major arcana, so they see it as something like, wow, I never seen this kind of collaboration before of energies, when people complement each other this well. And still, like both of these cards are major arcana, so you are a big deal by yourselves, each of you individually, but together you're creating this perfect blend. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, Pisces. Please check out my website in the coming days. I'll have information on how to register for my free webinar about personal astrology. Also check out readings for other placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. And let me know in the comments what you thought about this video, and also like the video, please. I love you all, and I'll be back with more readings very soon. Bye, guys.